Dear students, today we are going to read a poem, A Thing of Beauty by John Keats. As we start this poem, first of all, we need to discuss what is the concept of beauty. What is beauty? Why we need to define it? As you know, we people create so many things, just like paintings, literature, and so many other things. And we make sure that there has to be an aesthetic appeal in all our creations, and especially in literature and in painting, we actually assess things in terms of beauty. So, a lot of philosophers, a lot of thinkers, they tried to define this very complex concept of beauty. According to Oxford Advanced Learner, the quality of being pleasing to the senses or to the mind is called beauty. And I think we all will agree to this definition. Yes, the very important quality of beauty is that it pleases us, it gives us delight. But how does it give us delight? How it pleases us? There has been a long debate over this thing also, that a person looks at something, he is delighted or not. That delight depends on whom? It depends on that beauty or it depends on that person. So, in a way, we are discussing that beauty is subjective or objective. When we say beauty is subjective, it means that it depends on the eyes of the beholder. You must have heard that very well known saying that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. And yes, a lot of people believe in it. And there is another thinking also who say that beauty is objective. Objective means it does not depend on the beholder. And what is the difference? When we consider beauty as subjective, it means if the beholder does not have that sense, if the beholder is not in that mood, or because of anything, any reason, it does not appreciate the thing in terms of its aesthetic sense, then does it mean that that particular thing is not beautiful? Ask this question. And when we say it's objective, it means that it does not depend on the beholder whether he pleases it, whether it's, whether that person, that beholder, it praises him, praises that particular thing or not. It is beautiful. And yes, there are examples which we did not used to consider earlier beautiful, but now we consider those things beautiful because later on, by the time people came, they understood them and they explained it to the world that yes, these are beautiful, these are unique in themselves, and then we also started liking it. There are examples, just like there are some songs, there are some poems, there are some stories, there are some writers which you would have read first time, and that time it would not have or they would not have impressed you much. But later on, when you actually interacted with others, when you found that that particular singer, that particular song, or that particular piece of writing or writer that has gained a lot of popularity, but you especially did not like it when you first time came across it, but because you see this kind of reaction, this kind of reputation of that writer or singer in the society, now you start liking it. So what does it mean? That the beauty was there, but you were not able to see it. So what do we consider? There is one philosopher who said that beautiful things are beautiful because they give us delight? Or beautiful things give us delight, that is why they are beautiful? So let's think about it, and you can discuss or you can think about it on your own. All right, I leave it on you. But yes, it is still debatable. But yes, on one thing everybody agrees, I think, and that is this concept. I think we all agree on one thing, that beautiful things are always the source of delight. They always actually give us happiness. Yes? They give us inspiration. They can change our mood. They can fill us with energy. They fill us with positivity. So, there are these kind of things. And yes, nobody can deny it. There can be different beautiful things from person to person. But yes, we call only that thing beautiful which are the source of delight for us. Okay, so in the light of this discussion, let's think now, or let's count what things can be called beautiful. Just for example, now you look at it, it's a picture of a forest, it's a beautiful picture, and it has been clicked. It's not the painting. So, what do you say? When you experience these kind of places, how do you feel? Yes, we are delighted. So, this picture or these kind of places can be called beautiful. And what makes it beautiful? Just see, green grass, shrubs, and all other things. This tree, color, and the river, of course, all these are beautiful things. Not only this, just like mountains, lakes, trees, you see in this picture, clouds, sky, all these are beautiful things. Don't you think so? Now, just see flowers and yes, animals, of course. This is a lamb. This is a lamb, and lamb can also be beautiful. Okay, we are delighted when we look at so many animals, just like people keep pets. Why? Because they are delighted. They feel happy in their company. Now, see, sun is also beautiful. Then moon can also be called beautiful. And yes, they cannot be called, they are beautiful. Yes. Now, you see this picture. What does it tell? Yes, all other things in the earlier slides, they were beautiful, of course. Don't you think so? This picture is also beautiful. And who does it show? Of course, Maharana Pratap. Why Maharana Pratap can be called beautiful? Yes, there are people also who can give us the same kind of delight. Yes, his tales, his tales of valor, his tale, the manner of his death when he died fighting against Akbar's army. So, his manner of that death gives us a lot of inspiration. It teaches us a lesson of valor. So, it can be called beautiful. In the same way, we can draw inspiration from Maharani Lakshmi Bai. So, her that gesture, that kind of revolt against British army, that was also uh, exemplary. So, it can be beautiful for us. Now, some people, their lives are enough and full of inspiration for other people. So, APJ Abdul Kalam, his whole life is an inspiration to a lot of people. And the manner of his death also, the moment, the way he died, he was always working. He died during his lecture, which he was delivering to the students. So, his autobiography means books can also be called beauty, beautiful things. They all can also be included in beautiful things. So, all these beautiful things, there are so many other things also which can be called beautiful if they give us pleasure, if they give us delight. Now, when we experience such things, when we come in the contact of beautiful things, so what happens? How we actually are delighted, or when we are delighted, how our mind is affected by it. See, the beautiful things provide us what? They provide us happiness, they provide us peace, inspiration, positivity, and that is a very sought after refuge also. Refuge in a way. Refuge is whenever we find trouble, whenever there is any difficulty in our life, whenever our mood is off, so we take help of something, we take shelter of something or somebody. That is called refuge. So don't you see that whenever we are in a depressed mood, whenever we are disturbed, we want to go to the things which we consider beautiful. And because of all these qualities, we feel a strong attachment with those beautiful things. You visit a beautiful place, and again you want to visit it. Again you want to visit it. Just like in your town, there is a beautiful fall, and don't you go there when you are not in the mood, whenever your mood is off? So that time you go and experience it, and that changes our mood. So when we have so many beautiful things around us, when we have these emotions in us, so how it is good for us, because that actually makes our mind peaceful. We have so many problems these days. We have so many disturbances these days. We have to meet challenges. Yes, you as students also, I as teacher also, we all have so many challenges in our life which disturbs us. But if we have these beautiful things in our life, then we can keep our mind peaceful. Yes, and when our mind is in peace, then we have sound sleep. Yes, a disturbed mind cannot sleep soundly. And yes, when we have good sleep, then that is the foundation of a healthy body and healthy mind. Yes, and then there is a person who has balanced personality, and balanced personality actually is the foundation of improved relationships, good relationships. These days we see so many disturbances in the differences in the relationships. But yes, if we have this, if we actually are in the contact of beautiful things, then we can improve our relations also. And if we have all these kind of things, just like you are supported by the people, you have exalted mood, you have positivity in you, what is the result of it? Result is high achievements. Now again, high achievements can be very subjective. It can differ from person to person. What do you mean by achievement? But yes, whatever is the achievement for you, you will achieve it if you have all these things in your mind, in your personality. All right, so we have discussed all these things. We have actually in a way understood the concept of beauty and its effect on our personality and on our life. So now, in the light of this discussion, let's go ahead and yes, one more thing. So what is there in our life? We can say we love our life because of beautiful things. Yes, there are challenges, there are bad moments, there are so many things which actually make us depressed. A lot of people sometimes think very, uh, you know, uh, depressed, but what they see, because of beautiful things, we actually love life, we want to live. Okay, so in the light of this, let's now read the poem, A Thing of Beauty, by John Keats. This poem is actually is an extract, and you will not find any poem by this name. We have given this title to this extract, and this extract is from a very big other poem that is called Endymion, and it was the first remarkable work by John Keats, although now we consider it remarkable, but that time it was criticized severely. There was one magazine called Blackwood, and that criticized this work. Yes, but that's a different case. Now, this is considered a good work or considerable work of John Keats, and the title of that work, that original work, is Endymion, a poetic romance. This poem actually is based on a Greek legend in which Endymion, and that is a young shepherd and a poet, and then he lived there on a mount, and there he had a vision of Cynthia. Cynthia is the moon goddess there, and the enchanted youth resolved to seek her out, and so wandered away through the forest and down under the sea. So he's looking for Cynthia. So romantic setting is there, lot of natural things, beauty of nature has been described throughout the poem, and so this is just one excerpt taken for you. Now I am going to read out this poem. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despondence on the inhuman dearth of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways made for our searching. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits, such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon. For simple sheep, and such are daffodils, with the green world they live in, and clear rills, that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season, the mid forest brake, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms. We have imagined for the mighty dead all lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring on to us from the heaven spring. So this is the whole poem I have recited, and I'm sure that you would have understood little bit after my first reading of the poem. So now I'm going to explain this poem. Now see, a thing of beauty is joy forever. Yes, as we discussed that there are so many things and we derive pleasure from beautiful things. So does it mean that we ever stop deriving pleasure? Or is it the thing that these beautiful things stop its value in terms of their aesthetic appeal? They have aesthetic appeal all the time. Okay? Just like earlier also there were people, in ancient time also there were people who praised nature and its beauty, and we still praise nature and its beauty. So nature has always been a source of delight for people. So that is why a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Yes, in this term also and in other terms also, you experience something beautiful, and then whether you are in the contact of that or not, but that remains it remains in your mind, that remains in your memory, and whenever you think of them, then you are delighted, you derive pleasure. Okay, so that is why a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness. Now its loveliness increases. Loveliness increases means, yes, whenever as the time goes by, you keep thinking about them and you keep more and more pleasure. Okay, from those memories. Those memories are, you know, pleasure giving to you always. It will never pass into nothingness. Yes, the beautiful things, they never lose their importance in our life, but will keep a bower quiet for us. Yes, and when we actually find these kind of beautiful things, they are a bower quiet for us. Means they are actually like a shelter. Shelter means they shelter us from the worries of our life, from the disturbances or tensions of our life. So, and because they keep us away from the tension, so that is why we have sound sleep and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. So, that is why we have good sleep and then we have sweet dreams. And if we have sweet dreams and sound sleep, as we have already discussed, we have good health and quiet breathing. Quiet breathing means we become balanced. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth. And that is why every other day, every day we are finding reason to love this nature and to love our life. Yes, everybody holds his life or her life so dear, okay, so close. It is nobody wants to die. Why don't we want to lose our life? That is because of these beautiful experiences or beautiful things in our life. We are wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth. Yes, we love earth because of these things. Spite of despondence. Yes, there is, it does not mean that there are no negative things, there are no failures, there are no things which actually makes us depressed. All negative things are there, but still we love life, we love earth. Of inhuman dearth, dearth means lack. Nobody is complete, everybody has weaknesses. Yes, but how much do we actually ponder over or keep thinking about and crying for what we don't have? Yes, we do miss those things, but we are not sad all the time thinking about all the time what we lack. Why? Because we have such things in our life of noble natures, huh? Of the inhuman dearth of noble natures, of the gloomy days. Yes, we all have our bad times with us. Yes, so yes, we have bad experiences also, but we forget them, we neglect them, and we start living positively and happily again. Of all the unhealthy and over darkened ways, unhealthy and over darkened ways, unhealthy, although ways cannot be dark, unhealthy, okay, this is transferred epithet. Now, of all the unhealthy and over darkened ways, so we adopt so many bad ways also to achieve or to get what we want in our life. So that creates again more problems in our life. We become sad, we become terrified, we are scared that we will be caught or we will be blamed or other people call us this or that. But yes, we get ourselves out of these and we become happy again even after our bad experiences because of the effect of beautiful things made for our searching. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall. Yes, in spite of all, in spite of everything, in spite of all means, in spite of all the bad things in our life and around us, yes, some shape of beauty moves away the pall. Pall means sadness. Some shape of beauty come and they rescue us from breaking, from our dark spirits, such the sun. And what are those beautiful things? We actually thought of some beautiful things in earlier slides and in the earlier discussion. Now, such as the sun, the moon, the trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep. Yes, Sprouting a shady boon means wherever there is a lot of vegetation, lot of shrubs, many trees, so that place becomes very shady, and that place gives a lot of relaxation. If you go to such places, and yes, here in Odisha, there are so many places like this. So they are so green. You enjoy them. Once you go to that kind of place and you lay down, you feel relaxed. And that is why we go on picnic. For picnic, we go to especially such kind of naturally rich places. So, such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon, for simple sheep. Yes, the poet has taken the example of sheep also. And sheep, yes, but here it has indication. We have already discussed that, yes, uh, animals are also beautiful. It is also one of the animals, examples of animals. But here it is a symbol. Symbol means in just like for Jesus, we people should follow Jesus and the teachings of Jesus without questioning. We should follow them. We should follow Jesus, okay, and the human beings. So sheep here are the human beings that we need to follow the sayings of God without questioning, just like sheep, okay. And such are daffodils, just like flowers are examples of beautiful things with the green world they live in, and the clear rills means a small stream of water which you know flows down the mountains, that for themselves a cooling covert make. And sometimes around these rills, and there are thickets means uh, you know places where a lot of shrubs, lot of vegetation is there, and so a lot of bushes are there, okay. So that is called cooling covert, so covered make. So these kind of places are made which is very green and full of vegetation, so against the hot season. So what these places are? These places are actually the shield against the hot season. The hot season again is a symbol for difficulties in life. So beautiful things provide us shelter against the difficulties in life or the bad time in life. The mid forest break. Mid forest break means in the thick of the forest where it is very dense. Now rich with sprinkling of air musk rose blooms, and there in the dense forest we see many trees, and there are many flowers also, and it has mentioned a particular flower, that is musk rose blooms means that gives flowers. Now, and such too is the grandeur of the tombs. Grandeur means that splendor of the tombs. Such too is the grandeur of the tombs. Now here the poet is different from our discussion. In our discussion, we did not include death as the thing of beauty. Anything which showed life, okay, which showed beauty, then we consider and we took in our definition of love, the definition of beauty. But poet here has included not only life, but death also in things of beauty. And such too is the grandeur of the tomb. He is saying that not only these things which we find beautiful, not only these things are beautiful, not only living which is beautiful, but actually the death is also beautiful. Here, Keats' concept of beauty goes beyond. Now, the grandeur of the tombs we have imagined for the mighty dead. Yes, and that what kind of death? Doom is death. What kind of death? We have imagined for the mighty dead. Yes, some people died in such a way that they actually made their manner of death also a source of inspiration for others. Just like I have given 3 examples of Maharana Pratap and Rani Lakshmi Bai and Dr. Abdul Kalam, All these just three examples. Don't you think that their manner of death is also a source of inspiration for us? We read about their lives. We live, we actually listen to the tales related to their life and how they actually died, what cause they died for. Yes, so we have imagined the mighty dead. All lovely tales that we have heard or read. Yes, so all the lovely tales, not only just here, especially it is related to these figures, these famous figures, these inspirational figures, their life stories we read or we hear about, and we derive inspiration from their life stories. But apart from this, there are many other stories also which inspire us. So they are also beautiful. So all these things, including and all together in our life, you know, that is actually an endless mountain of immortal drink. So this is an endless fountain. Fountain means a shower. So all these things are actually a shower. This is a blessing of immortal drink. Immortal means which is never going to be exhausted. It will always keep flowing. Okay? So immortal drink. Immortal, and that drink. Drink means as if we are drinking it. We are getting it into our body. But yes, we are not drinking this immortal drink in that normal way. We are actually are grasping it, and this is how it is affecting our life. An endless fountain of immortal drink pouring onto us from the heavens brink. Yes, and this immortal drink, these blessings, it is being poured over us. From where? Nature. So nature is pouring it over us for ages. We cannot say that earlier there were no trees, but yes, for ages all these beautiful things around us are. And our generations have all paid a great gratitude towards nature. Don't you think that we have so many festivals which are celebrated just to show our that gratitude towards nature? Yes? So nature is always the source of this elixir of life which makes our life livable. So we owe a great deal to the nature and to these beautiful things. So this is the explanation of the poem. I hope you would have understood it. Now we will discuss particular phrases. Yeah? Although this is not that much difficult, but let's discuss now. It will be given in words also, so that it can be exact in your mind that what to write for a particular phrase. Just like its loveliness increases. So its loveliness increases means a joy multiplies with every beautiful thought. Likewise, the loveliness of a beautiful thing increases manifold each time we visualize it on our mind screen. It will never pass into nothingness. The joy a beautiful thing provides is eternal. The imprint it leaves on our mind is indelible. Thus, its loveliness can never fade away or die out. Sleep full of sweet dreams? What does it mean? The joy beauty gives us is akin to the joy of blissful sleep, full of pleasant dreams. Or we can say that because of the effect of beautiful things, we have sound sleep. It relaxes our brain. Now, quiet breathing. Quiet breathing, the peace and serenity that one experiences on seeing beautiful things. It relaxes us by driving away aggression and restlessness. Yes, we nowadays are becoming very aggressive. We are becoming short tempered. But the people who are surrounded by these kind of things, you go to naturally beautiful places, hill stations, people are still found there. They are very relaxed. They don't, they are not in a hurry. Okay, they have a lot of control on their mind. Okay, but yes, the bigger city you live in, the more active you are, the less tempered we become. Wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth. Yes? So the joy derived from beautiful things supports and motivates us to live our life on earth, which would otherwise have been a pain. In other words, life on earth would not be worth living without its treat of beauty. Yes, we love life because of these things. Spite of despondence, the suffering and hopelessness of man, which he experiences at various junctures in life. Yes, hopelessness, suffering, they will always be there, in spite of all. In human dearth of noble nature, they will also be always there. Nobody can be perfect. These days, there is hardly any person who is noble in character and who rises above petty differences by being magnanimous and generous. And nobody can be. Okay? Yes, these uh, negative things, this lack will always be there in our personality. But there is a dearth of such noble souls on our earth and in every individual. But even then, unhealthy and over darkened ways. Unhealthy and over darkened, yes. Whenever in the state of less lack of motivation, lack of education, or our too much, passionate, being too much passionate, or fascinated by a particular thing, we want to get something by hook or crook. So in those moments, we actually adopt wrong ways. Those are the selfish and jealous method we adopt to achieve our goals. Simple sheep, yes. So in spite of all, there are beautiful things which actually save us from the effect of these negative things in our life and in the world. Simple sheep. Now, simple sheep, symbol of innocence and serene beauty. Yes, innocence. These are the symbol of innocence, like a sheep. Don't be a sheep. You would have heard this. Means you're not using your brain and you're following what you are being told. Okay, so Jesus Christ was shepherd and was surrounded by his flock of sheep. Yes, there are many pictures also depicting this way. His followers, Keats has made a special reference to the sheep as symbols of divine beauty. So this is symbol of divine beauty. If we become innocent like those sheep, so we will be divine. So that innocence is divine. The green world they live in. Yes, beauty of nature is at its best in the lush green surroundings of meadows and pastures which provide support to all plants and animals. It is in this green world that all living creatures find true happiness and joy. Clear rills, the rivers and streams are the elixir of life. Their beautiful sight provides cooling effect which provides respite in the hot season. The mid forest break, thick forest undergrowth which is brimming with growth of musk rose flowers. Grandeur of the tombs. Now, this is important. Growth and decay march hand in hand in nature and thus are the two vital aspects of life, growth and decay. The poet sees beauty in magnificent decay and death of these beautiful creations of nature. So Keats is saying not only taking birth, not only life which is beautiful, but death also is beauty, because it is only death after which birth is there. So it's a cycle. So we should celebrate both life and death both. Mighty dead. So mighty those great men and warriors who glorified death by embracing it most gracefully and magnificently, who faced their death so bravely and set an example to the world. Lovely tales that we have heard or read means the great ones are laid to rest and to perpetuate their memory. Beautiful memories are built. The tales of their heroic lives continue to inspire us even after their death. Endless fountain of immortal drink. Beauty in all aspects, where in growth or in decay, is perennial source of motivation. It is an endless fountain from which we can drink the immortal elixir of life. So, and this kind of immortal drink is pouring onto us from the heavens brink. Brink is also means up to the extent after which nothing more can be added. Beauty is the greatest gift of God to man, which has been showered upon us from the heaven above. This beauty is eternal and everlasting, in whose glory men on earth bask and derive their perennial source of joy and happiness. So, I hope you would have understood the whole poem. It is not that much difficult, but yes, I have found students struggling in terms of, when they need to write in exact word that what this word or what this phrase means. Okay, so for that it has been given in words also, in the exact sentences, and which will help you to explain these phrases. Now, some poetic devices, let's talk about it, because uh, description of a poem is not complete without talking about its poetic devices. So first of all, which is clearly visible there and experienced there, that is rhyming scheme. Rhyming scheme you would also have noticed when I was reading the poem. So that was AA and BB. So AA, BB, metaphor examples are so many there. Bower quiet. Why? Bower quiet means it's a shelter. Shelter in the sense that it is a shield. It is a shield against all the worries, all our disturbances. Okay. Now, sweet dreams. Sweet dreams means good example, good experiences. Sweet dreams means good experiences. Wreathing a flowery band. Flowery band means that attachment which we form with life and nature. Paul means sadness. Endless fountain of immortal drink. That endless fountain means this source of beautiful things will always be there. It is not going to extinct. Now, alliteration, noble nature, na, cooling covered, band to bind. Imagery, yes, this poem is remarkable, especially in terms of imagery. So many examples of imagery in the poem. Symbol, ship, sheep is a symbol of innocence here, and it refers to mankind, that how mankind should be. Transferred epithet is when the quality of something else is actually transferred to something else. Just like gloomy days can never be gloomy. When you are sad, then to you the days are felt gloomy. Time cannot be good or bad. It is according to the person, it is very subjective. So unhealthy and over darkened ways. So unhealthy ways cannot be there, means a path cannot be called unhealthy. Antithesis, when two opposite things are written in the same line. Loveliness increases, pass into nothingness, so increases nothingness. Now noble nature, or gloomy days, so noble and gloomy. Trees, old and young, so old and young. Cooling, then hot. Mighty, and then dead. Grandeur, and then doom. So these are two different concepts which have been used there together. So this is called antithesis. The hyperbole example is also there, endless fountain of immortal drink. So this is hyperbole. Now we have read this poem, and so much beautiful poem, and with a bit philosophical concept. So this poem has been, was written by this great poet called John Keats. So John Keats actually was a romantic poet, and he was a young romantic. He was a young romantic, and young romantics are especially three. Were especially three, that Lord Byron and P.B. Shelley. But one thing was there, that he was youngest of them. The old romantics are Coleridge, Southey, and Wordsworth. You must have heard his name, Wordsworth. So they were early romantics, and these were young romantics. And Keats was the youngest of them. Youngest means last to take birth. But unfortunately, he was first to die. Poetic career just 5 years long. Yes, he died at the age of 25 only. But in that just 5 years writing career, he produced such a great work, good poems, that people consider him, assume that had he lived a bit longer, he would have been considered one of the best poems, best poets in the English language. So his life was not easy. His father was a stable keeper, and he died when he was at the age of 9, and his mother died when he was 15, and then he had to work in a hospital as a surgeon, but he did not like that job, and at the age of 23 he left that job, and he devoted himself fully to the writing of poetry. So from this incident you can imagine that how much dedicated, how much passionate about poetry writing he was. And that too, it was when writing was not that much a lucrative business. uh, there was no surety that you would live a prosperous or comfortable life. You were supposed to be living a very uh, life full of hardships. So but even then he adopted that profession, that way, and it is just because of his that passion that he was able to produce such a good work. So Endymion, as I already mentioned, that it was the first work of his, which can be called remarkable. It was published in 1818, consists of 4 books, and in his long voluminous work, so this is very long poem, for more than 4,000 lines, and its subtitle is poetic novel. So it is poetic novel. There are other, lot of good work from him, but yes, I would like to mention here, and I would suggest that you someday would read these 5 poems, because these five odes are called the best 5 odes. Okay, so these are together called 1819 odes. So compose 6 odes, which are among his most famous and well regarded poems. So these are Ode to Psyche, Ode to Nightingale, Ode to Gratian, on melancholy, on indolence. So these 5 are considered his best. And yes, here what you will see, that beauty is truth and truth beauty. This is one of the most famous lines in whole literature. So it is from this poem, on Ode on a Gratian, where we find this word, this line. It is a quotation now. You must have also read it somewhere. Beauty is truth and truth beauty. Another thing which is famous about this poet, uh, his epitaph. Epitaph, you know what is written on the tombstone? That is, here lies one whose name was writ in water, meaning fame and indeed life is fleeting. Nothing is permanent. Your fame is also not permanent. So, whatever you earn in life, that is very ephemeral. It can stop existing anytime. So, here lies one whose name was writ in water. This is also very famous. So, in the last, uh, there are given some important questions which can be practiced, and I think you should write the answers of these questions, very frequent ones in board point of view and from the understanding of the poem point of view also. So this is all for this poem today, or for this lesson today. I hope you would have enjoyed this lesson and you would have liked this poem also. Thank you very much.